Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you so much for convening this hearing. And thank you to all the people that have had decades of work trying to resolve this problem. Um, like Chair Brownsley said, I am the executive director of Azul. I am also the vice chair of the Coastal Conservancy, but today I am here as a concerned community member and extremely concerned mother. I grew up right 2 blocks down from the border. When people ask me about how I got into this work, I like to tell them about the fact that one of my earliest memories was the sound of crashing waves, falling asleep to the sound of crashing waves in Playas de Tijuana. The part that I leave out, because it's not quite as romantic, is the fact that I also remember very, very clearly the smell of sewage. I'm in my 40s now, and this has been a problem for decades. You know, it's um it's frustrating. I now live a couple of miles east of here. I have, like I said, a toddler, and it's something that we have to deal with on the regular. I have a toddler who one of her first um, words was playa, beach, and I cannot bring her to the beach because, as we just heard from the doctors, it is extremely dangerous. We now have to deal with not just not enjoying the beach, but also apparently with the aerosolized sewage, right? So now it's not just a problem of avoiding coastal access and foregoing coastal access, which is an extreme problem in itself, but also just existing around this. So when people exist around this, when they are just trying to breathe, they are exposed to this every single day. People just want to breathe. Um, California is a worldwide and with reason leader in coastal conservation. We are well known around the world. We are well received around the world for um, the policy innovations that we have here. And yet, decades later, this still endures. People still have to deal with this. So what we need is a change. Again, very, very thankful for the people that have spent decades here, that have invested entire careers working on this for their leadership, but it's just not enough. Unfortunately, it is not enough. It is not enough for the people that live here. It is not enough for the people that have grown up around here. It's not enough for the people that just want to have a day at the beach and, God forbid, live near the ocean around here. I'd like to also point out at this time that there's very few, I guess, affordable or somewhat affordable for California coast communities in our state. And two of them that are most well known, Oxnard and Imperial Beach, have been plagued for decades with over industrialization and pollution. And so that's something that we need to talk about. We have here, and I say we, I say the royal we because thankfully it was had the privilege of being included in this process. Have now have an environmental justice policy to be proud of, right? California, California Coastal Commission, first of its kind in the world to, you know, have an environmental justice policy that is groundbreaking, but this is when you get to use it. This is the fun part. This is when you get to call on it and actually use it. And if you'll allow me an extreme indulgence, I would like to read a very quick paragraph from our brand new paper that was just published in the George Washington Journal of Energy and Environmental Law, with our co-author, Greg Macy. And this is from the Coastal Justice Lab, which is a collaboration with UCI and Azul. And so in this, we say, responsible governance must avoid community erasure, account for variance in community formation and association, and ensure community ownership over process and systems. It must reverse historical injustices that are magnified by ongoing policies and practices, bring appropriate staff and analytical capacity to bear to affirmatively enforce anti-discrimination laws, and advance creative and expansive use of existing authorities. Finally, it must rearticulate what it means to integrate environmental justice principles within state and federal policy. So today, I leave you this, please, please support a call for an emergency state. The status quo has not worked. We need a different path. Thank you.
Thank you. Please use the hands. Great. Thank you so much, Mars. So appreciate you making time to come by.
Good afternoon, Chair Brownsy and Commissioners. My name is Sarah Davidson, and I manage the Clean Border Water Now program at the Surfrider Foundation. Thank you for all your time and attention on this matter. And Commissioner Aguirre, thank you for your critical and ongoing leadership. Surfrider has been working on transboundary pollution for more than 30 years. We recognize the extremely harmful impact border pollution was having on our ocean, beaches, and access to coastal recreation. So we began investing our volunteer and staff time, legal expertise, and financial resources towards addressing this issue. In 2018, after more than a decade of on-the-ground education and outreach without a firm solution in sight, Surfrider followed a citizen lawsuit under Clean Water Act Section 505 against the IBWC to address the rampant and egregious water pollution. Additionally, Surfrider has worked jointly with many co-plaintiffs in 3 related cases, which led to a strong global settlement with the IBWC in 2022. This settlement supports water quality and public health protections by improving monitoring, communications, and reporting efforts and advancing infrastructure improvements through the EPA-vetted comprehensive infrastructure solution. Surfrider has continued to be a strong voice on how toxic pollution is affecting ocean recreation. But this issue goes far beyond a family not being able to swim in the ocean or a world-renowned surf break that can no longer be accessed. It goes beyond lifeguards not being able to conduct rescues and Navy SEALs no longer being able to train without getting sick. It's now in the air. It's in people's homes. It's affecting all aspects of community life and well-being. It's impacting the current and future health of children growing up here, as you've just heard. This is something that cannot be replaced. We are coming to this commission now for help because we are at a breaking point. Beach closures have reached an all-time high. The beach just outside of these walls has been closed for 242 days this year. That's 85% of the time. And our southernmost beach has been closed over 670 consecutive days. The money towards the infrastructure solution that is expected to reduce cross-border flows by 75% year-round and beach closures by 95% in summer months, money that we and so many others have fought hard for, is instead getting allocated to fix the broken international treatment plants after years of deferred maintenance. Extreme storms like Tropical Storm Hillary are piling up and are going to eat up even more of the money that should be going towards advancements, not just catching up. This is the environmental justice issue of our time, as you will continue to hear from speakers today. This region and the communities that call it home have been neglected for decades. Infrastructure here has been allowed to deteriorate to a state of complete dysfunction, despite many pleas for help over the years. But the truth is, it matters who is pleading. It matters that this is a border region. It matters that most families live at or below the poverty line. It matters that the majority of the population identifies as Latinx. It shouldn't, but we all know that it does. The ugly reality is that this would never be allowed to happen in Del Mar or La Jolla. Yet, this has been allowed to happen here in this community by every agency and elected official who's had a chance to intervene and didn't, or who's paid lip service to the problem without advancing meaningful change. It is being allowed to continue right now. As we sit here in the comfort of this oceanfront resort with an HVAC system filtering our air, drinking purified water, millions of gallons of flows carrying toxic waste are spewing into the river, ocean, air, and lungs of the surrounding community. I have so much more.
And I just want to thank you and thank Surfrider for all of the work that you do on this issue. Your work is incredible. So thank you, Ms. Davidson. Stick around. I'm sure there's going to be questions.
Thank you. And
You
I
bet.
just want to say that we've circulated some very specific requests for solutions, and it should be in all of your inboxes. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. All right, next we have Ben McHugh, who's the Executive Director of Outdoor Outreach. Mr. McHugh, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you so much to everyone who's come out here today. I've worked alongside this community for many years, and this environmental justice issue hits a deeply personal note for me. I got my first full-time job just a stone's throw from here, and I learned pretty quickly that for kids in IB, it was normal that their beaches were closed for most of the winter and spring when the Tijuana River was flowing. And time and again, they'd share with me ear and sinus infections were just a part of going surfing, and it broke my heart. 20 years later, this problem has only gotten worse. What used to be mainly a wet weather problem is now a year-round problem, and it's absolutely devastating to know that for kids growing up here today, their idea of normal is that their beaches are always closed. This is a case study for shifting baselines, where each subsequent generation's idea of what is natural is shaped by their experience in an increasingly degraded environment. Our work at Outdoor Outreach is to support communities through outdoor recreation and education. We focus on low-income communities that face barriers to beach and outdoor access and who would otherwise be unlikely to experience these places. Our work is made possible through multiple state grants, and across the state, programs like ours play a critical role in supporting the Coastal Act's promise of access for all. Yet we spent years developing strong relationships with the city of IB, state parks to support our programs. And in the past 2 years, with the steep increase in beach closures and advisories, we've had to cancel or pivot 122 programs. This is the equivalent of losing over 1,400 beach days for local youth. When we shift our programs due to pollution, we face multiple challenges from coastal land managers. When we try to take kids from IB and South San Diego to nearby beaches and bays not impacted by water quality closures, we risk being hassled by local authorities for not having permits. And when we try to pursue these permits, we oftentimes find they're costly, restrictive, an administrative nightmare, or simply don't exist. These permitting systems limit the public's ability to access the coast through programs like ours. And because of that, we believe they're a form of coastal development that have never been approved by the Commission. This is an issue that strikes at the heart of the Coastal Act and its environmental justice provisions. Yes, we need the Commission in the state of California to take a strong position to get federal funding and clean water solutions. We also realize that many of these questions fall outside of your mandate. But what is squarely in your wheelhouse is the ability to ensure that groups like ours have the coastal access needed to run community programs in areas not impacted by pollution. In even the best scenario, the comprehensive clean water solutions we need here at the border are years away. By eliminating coastal permitting restrictions for EJ and equity-focused programs, directing enforcement fees to support these programs, the Commission can take action today in support of the communities most impacted and ensure that kids in Imperial Beach and across South San Diego can still experience the magic of our California coast. Thank you.
Mr. McHugh, thank you for all of the work that you're doing. And I believe if you get with our executive director, we want to get you with the right staff because this is a critically important issue that you raised. So we're going to talk more about that.
Case and then Laura Walsh.
Hi, thank you so much. I am the lead volunteer with Clean Border Water Now, a Surfrider San Diego program. And I'm also an Imperial Beach resident. I live in the community east of the estuary. We've lived in IB since 2009, and I've been with Surfrider since 2007. So my colleagues are holding up some student art that was made recently in conjunction with Ocean Connectors and the IB Arts Bureau. And so we just wanted you to have something to look at, something that the students made to represent how they feel and what they see. So really quickly, I won't repeat everything you've heard already, but I just want to say as a resident, early in the morning and late in the evening, we can't open our windows, let alone enjoy our yards. We just did a renovation in our backyard and we have not used it at all. it stinks. I work here at C180. The people who are serving you while you're here, all of us, 90% of us have had intestinal irritations when the sewage has been really bad, when the levels have been super elevated just a few weeks ago. So we're getting sick. We're also very slow. We only have a couple shifts a week. So that, again, that's the economic impact. And so along with not being able to recreate at the beach, as adults, as students in our community, this is our representation, and we really, really would love your assistance in fixing this for us.
Thank you so much. Could you take pictures of those and submit them for the record? Those are they're really extraordinary art from the students. And so thank you. Thank you so much. Ms. Walsh, are you next? Why don't you come up to the mic?
After Laura Walsh, we have Priscilla Miller, Celia Solis, and Rochelle Poblete from Azul.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Laura Walsh with the Surfrider Foundation. Just wanted to be clear about our ask and why we're in the room today. We are asking the Commission to support our call to Governor Newsom and President Biden to declare the emergency that clearly exists. We appreciate the Commission shining a light on the issue today. We don't want you to be doing it alone. We're desperate for more legislative solutions and more work on the ground. And I really appreciated Assemblymember Alvarez's staff for highlighting AB 1597, which we think will be a really strong state bill to support next year. Additionally, we just sent yesterday a letter to Governor Newsom and to President Biden with our petition, with over 3,200 signatures from concerned residents in San Diego County calling for an emergency declaration. Over the summer, we worked with over 50 coalition partners, many of whom are in the room, to send a letter echoing the same request. And finally, I just want to say on a personal level, ever since getting involved in this issue, moving to San Diego, it's been a really complicated issue to understand. And when you try to get involved, you get suppressed with very bureaucratic answers about why there's no solution. It's learning a new acronym, it's learning a new jurisdiction, a new authority, a new agency. And people forget that people live here and suffer with this problem. And we're really excited to be here today where people are speaking about the real way that they're affected and hopefully motivating really strong, present, tangible solutions. Thank you.
Hello, esteemed commissioners and staff. My name is Angela Howe. I'm the Senior Legal Director for Surfrider Foundation. I also teach cross-border marine pollution at University of San Diego Law School. Hi, Margarita. We'll have some great guest speakers. But I've been working on this issue for over a decade, and I don't know if I can tell you anything more compelling than the great testimony we've had today. The doctors, the community members, the YMCA, the lifeguards, they're telling you that this is a huge issue that needs to be addressed immediately. And there's a profound depth of this issue. It touches naval bases. It touches farmlands. It goes by nationally. It's really hard to address. And I appreciate everyone who's worked on it thus far. I also was attorney of record for the lawsuit we filed under the Clean Water Act, alongside the Regional Water Quality Control Board, alongside the City of Imperial Beach, the Port of San Diego, the City of Chula Vista, and City of San Diego and State Lands Commission also joined that suit. So we just settled last year. There's some improvements coming. We need more. I understand it's not directly within the purview of the California Coastal Commission, but I also understand that you are the most powerful coastal management agency in the nation, and you can do something. You can lend your powerful resources towards addressing this problem. And while I have a few minutes, I was at Scripps this morning teaching your environmental justice policy, and I'd like to quote it. The Commission will use its legal authority to ensure equitable access to clean, healthy, and accessible coastal environments for communities that have been disproportionately overburdened by pollution. That's exactly within your mandate. I agree with Marseille. This is when the rubber meets the road. This is when you need to take action. Thank you. Thank you. Pat Escher, followed by Vivian Marquez, and then Mary Doyle. Pat Escher.
Good afternoon. My name is Pat Escher. I'm a resident of Coronado, and I'm here